Don and I are headed to the state farmers market to pick up a fresh turkey from Rainbow Meadow Farms. This will be our 5th or 6th year getting our turkey from Sandra and the nice family that run that farm. We typically go the Saturday morning or the Sunday morning before Thanksgiving. You know, that family works really hard the week leading up to Thanksgiving to, let's just use the word, prepare the turkeys for everyone. And Don's going with me. He's all dressed up this morning, looking good. And I'll talk a little bit more about the end of the day yesterday because I faded really bad. We did not leave Smithfield Selma High School until 6:30 p.m. and I had gotten there at 7:15 a.m. and I was beyond beat. And then on the way home, it was pretty dense fog and a wet, glaring road, and that ride back to Fuquay was really hard on me. Yeah, so Don and I are up earlier than we'd like to be on a Sunday, but we are picking up a fresh turkey from a local farmer, and this family, as I said a minute ago, they work really hard this time of year, so Sandra needs to drop them off. And she has a little bit of a drive up to the Raleigh Farmers Market. They're down east toward the coast, their farm somewhere.
Like
and
or someplace. It's further away than you would think.
Yeah, but it's over an hour, hour and a half drive for her. So I get it. Come pick them up around 9:30. Going on 10, she's going to drop them all off and she'll be headed back to the farm. Sunday's not a full day for her. She usually on Saturday she's over there, but not on a Sunday. After the rain and kind of dreary day we had yesterday, it's windy, but it's looking nice out there today. I think our highs today are in the mid-50s and our low tonight is in the mid-30s. So it's I would say it's a normal Thanksgiving week kind of a day leading into December for us here in Raleigh. No weather extremes today.
Yeah, we shouldn't have to run the air conditioner on Thanksgiving, which is from time to time something we have to do.
Well, with all the heat I generate in the kitchen, it's certainly a possibility. Doesn't mean I won't run the fan in the kitchen though to make sure the cook's not too hot. So I did a sort of a poor job of summarizing the end of the day yesterday because I was so darn tired. And there was, you know, just imagine 36 teams times about 8 kids per teams, plus their parents, plus 2 or 3 coach volunteers per team, plus all the volunteers, event organizers, judges, referees. I mean, there were several thousand people at the high school yesterday, and everyone was well behaved. I was actually really surprised to see that they had an off-duty Johnston County police officer. Might have been Smithfield City, but I think it was Johnston County police officer there just in case. But they also had a football game in the parking lot yesterday in the afternoon, so they probably normally, for the high school kids, have a resource officer or somebody around. And she may have been the school resource officer, but we had no trouble. I didn't hear not one curse word or see one shove the entire day yesterday, and it was a grueling. Kids were tired, kids had had too much sugar, so the camera battery died. But as I was saying, there were no kids that got into any kind of an argument yesterday, verbal, physical. I mean, I didn't even see any tears yesterday, and normally at competitions somebody cries at some point, on my team even, during the competition. So it was really good sportsmanship yesterday. So what did I want to say? Well, you know, I coach 2 teams over at the school. A first team is allowed to have up to 10 kids. John Deere Grant wants, I think, between at least 6 kids per team, maybe 8, something like that. We have a couple of kids that come and go but aren't regulars, which we allow. But we do have a core of 5 kids on one team right now and 6 kids on the other team that are there all the time. Anyway, we have 2 teams, and we're not near the limit. So Johnny's on one team. Obviously, Mr. Major's son is on another team. And there's one other student that it's their 3rd year. And where am I going with this? We got 2 teams. That's where I'm going with this. One advanced to state. They had a high score of 320 points on the table. Our other team had a max score they could have achieved of 385, but the highest they were able to achieve at the event was only in the 200s. That's the team that Mr. Major and I had worked for 4 hours Friday night trying to sort out their robot. The irregularities in it running. We would get, you know, the kids had it working perfectly, and then all of a sudden the same turns that put it where it was supposed to be on the table would not put it where it was supposed to be on the table. So we had reworked it, exact same code, just changing the turning values, and it was working great again. And then when we got to competition yesterday, it was no longer working great, and the kids tried to get it to work again. They worked at every time they had practice time on a table, because you have to have the table to work on this. It's not something you can work on if you don't have the table. You know, you can't just use a cafeteria table to get, you have to have the mat and the models, and it's complicated. They just never could get it to work on the crane mission or the tan blocks mission, and that cost them a lot of points, and it probably cost them going to state. And I'm really sad about it. I guess I didn't in my head see either team going to state, and then I certainly never thought about the complexities of continuing to coach with only one team going. So they'll be going on January the 19th. It's a Sunday. You know, North Carolina has so many first teams that they have to do the state competition in 2 days. So there'll be bracket A on Saturday at NC A&T University in Greensboro, which is where the professor that runs FLL for the whole state, Dr. Corey Bennett, that's where he teaches. And then on Sunday when we go, that will be the second. And whether you go to A or B just all depends on which regional qualifier you went to, and Smithfield Summa High goes to the Sunday B bracket. So I don't know exactly how I'm going to manage that. We're still going to go down to only meeting on Thursdays. I suspect we will have some Sunday meetings, if nothing else, to work where it's warm in the lower garage on the project stuff. I really need to get, this is the team that wants to make electric go-karts and have a solar roof on the old Harris Teeter in Fuquay. I have got to get a Fuquay city planner to either come to the school or the kids to go to him. Since it's only 5 kids and 3 of them have parent volunteers of the 5, and the one has always been to the house on Sunday, even though their parent isn't the volunteer with the team necessarily. They were there showing support yesterday. I should be able to have a small field trip with just 5 kids. But, you know, I'll offer it up to the rest of the team. I do not think we can add on other kids from our school to this team. And I'm not sure that would be a good idea even if we could. But I will find out, because 1 or 2 key people might be helpful. And I don't know if we're allowed to totally change up the robot or would want to do that. But I think we can make any changes to the robot we want. But when you can score a consistent 320 points, I think all you would want to do is tweak it. You'd want to try to shoot for 4 or 450 and add some missions. So I don't know how I'm going to manage half the team not going and half the team going, but I'll figure it out. I will talk with the sponsor teacher. I will talk with Dawn. I will figure it out. So not as much rest between now and the beginning of the year as I anticipated. But you know, we can show up to state and just do what we did at regionals and have fun and not stress ourselves. That is one of the options. Another option is to meet Tuesdays and Thursdays and Sundays and every chance we get, and be so tired by the time the state gets here that we're miserable, and still probably not win because it will be really stiff competition. Or what I think we should do is somewhere in the middle where we improve our presentation and we improve our robot so we have a sense of accomplishment, and we go up there and we do our best and we have fun. I think I'm going to shoot for in the middle. I think that's what I'm going to do. So anyway, now you have the rest of the story. I've had my coffee. I've had nearly 9 hours, 10 hours of sleep. I am feeling human again, and yeah, it's going to be a great day. All right, we are here at the farmer's market. We have been talking and the whole time a little bit about Cybertruck, a little bit about the competition, and
we're gonna not go have fish for breakfast.
Right. Well, it's technically out the NC Seafood Restaurant, which is right here, that place that we go to.
They're lost.
Yeah, it's probably not open this morning. But really the worst problem is in here is there's all of that. There's a lot of sugar in here. I really enjoyed the trees we've gone past this morning. I feel like all the time this year that the trees have been pretty, it's been cloudy and rainy, and I haven't gotten to enjoy the trees. Whoa, I went the wrong way. All my fault, Donnie. Thank you. Wow, it smells like pecan pie, I think. And there are other families picking up their turkeys. So we all know what I was doing yesterday. Give us an update on the plumbing and what you were doing yesterday.
Yeah, so you know, after watching the normal YouTubes and stuff like that, I got busy, and I added the ice maker of a refrigerator, which is of course got an ice maker and the water in the door, to the reverse osmosis that I had hooked up to the sink earlier this week. And of course I had that one little slow drip every 5-minute leak, and I fixed it. I have to tell you that took more of the time you would have thought.
That was the under the house leak, right?
Yeah,
not an under the sink leak.
Not under the sink. Yeah, nothing else but that leaked, and it took me 4 tries. I actually had to end up using pipe compound and Teflon tape to actually get it to stop leaking. At least I'm assuming. I had checked it a couple times yesterday after I did the repair. I'm going to check it when I get home, and if it's not showing any water there, I'm going to call that done. I also hooked up Marianne. She puts plants under the house. I have grow lights underneath the house for our plants in the wintertime, and I hooked up a small water pipe to the feed water, the one coming down from the cold water pipe in the kitchen. I put a T there that goes to the reverse osmosis before the reverse osmosis, and it goes over and put a pipe on that, and she has a little valve she can hose she can water her plants with under the house.
Yeah, it was either that or Dawn had to get a 5-gallon Home Depot bucket, fill it with water, and carry it under the house for me. And, you know, that's a pain.
Right. Well, this is, you know, she just turns the little valve on. I gave her like a 12, 15-foot little
I was
hose,
totally stoked.
so she can easily maneuver around underneath there and water her plants.
Well, and the hose should prevent spills, because the old method with dip something down into the bucket and try, I was ending up spilling water. Not that it didn't dry in the dry winter air, but still, you don't want to really be spilling water under the house.
That's right. So when I get home today, I'm gonna check everything for leaks, and then start cleaning up all the boxes and the tools and everything I drug out. My workbench, as soon as I clean it off, it usually just gets piled again with more stuff.
Right. Well, just so y'all know, I'm really sensitive, so don't anybody ever say anything about Ruby's side of the garage or Dawn's workbench, because I fully believe that a totally clean workbench doesn't get a lot of work done. And Don does all these really great projects for me all the time, and I expect his workbench to look like a guy works at the workbench. So yeah, I'm good with it. But I agree, a little cleanup in between projects is probably helpful, so you can find your stuff.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Look at that bright sun coming through all those beautiful fall leaves. I'm sure it doesn't look as good on video as it looks in person, but it's pretty nice. I love leaves when they're red and orange and glowing. Don's helped me get all my Pokemon stuff done this morning.
So yesterday I noticed our little red maple tree was all lit up. The sun's not on it right now, but yesterday I came out at the right time, or the day before. Anyway, it was
must
like,
have been the day before.
Yeah, it must have been when I was, I guess, the day I ran. Anyway, it was like flaming red. It was really pretty.
Somebody is really liking the spot in the sun this morning. I moved the bed over there for him. Dawn opened up the blind and the one cat jumped up, and I went, you know what? I bet they'd like to sleep in the chair today. But this poor little one, she's left out. I'd put it up there for her, and her son, the big boy, Midnight, he got it first. I finished yesterday's video. It was a lot of fun for me to rewatch it again, and will be when I watch it up on the big screen when it's done one more time. I just felt like getting out for a few minutes. I don't know if I'm going to make it over here this week or not with what we have going on. It's 4:30 and they're already starting we're closing soon. 5 p.m. announcement. I found this for Connor because he's all into Elf on the Shelf and owl pot holder so far.
So I watched Jack Ricard's video today on the Cybertruck reveal. I always like hearing Jack's opinions on things, and you know, Jack was he thought the reveal, the presentation, you know, the glass breaking, that showmanship was a bust, but the show itself, the Cybertruck, it was a hit, a real winner. He said that he expects every television show, movie, every parade, every place you go, you're going to see the Cybertruck in the background. I mean, it is what trucks will be. In other words, I thought, of course, you know, and he said it too, that traditional truck buyers, you know, this is probably not for them, but the truck itself on it, for what it can do and how it's going to change the industry, you know, it is a total success. You know, it's sure thing from Jack's, it's his opinion, and I basically agree. I would say he's even more optimistic than I was. I basically have always said that I think Tesla's going to sell every truck they can build. Now, are they going to build 500,000 or 5 million of them? I don't know, but they're going to build at least all the ones that they can build. He did get into the savings because there's no paint, and this stainless steel sheet steel stamping process, bending or forming process, instead of having to stamp the way you would a traditional car, that's lower cost. He was very disappointed that the glass breaking, he wasn't care about that, but he felt like the glass breaking kind of threw Elon off his game, and he basically cut the reveal short and didn't talk about things he probably intended to. Elon intended to talk about, but because of the faux pas, he kind of lost it. And you know, because Jack wanted to know how big the battery was, he wanted to know what the wattage of the onboard inverter was, things like that. I would say, you know, it was an hour. The video is an hour and 47 minutes, and they talked for about an hour and 20 minutes about it. Him and Richard, his shop supervisor. And I would tell you, I was very positive about the Cybertruck myself. Like I have said, I've ordered one. Jack's ordered one. He ordered the same one I did, the all-wheel drive. I was very positive about that. The truck, you know, I think the common thread is everybody who sees it, the first thought is, oh my God, what is that? Are you crazy? But it grows on you. It really does. And after not too long, like it took me probably, you know, few minutes, apparently, about what it took Jack to come around to the fact that forget about the looks, just deal with the truck. Richard, I thought, made the most profound statement in the video. It was probably well after they've talked for an hour, but he said that, you know, the brawny truck buyer, the guys who are buying trucks now, they're not making any more, man. They're dying off. And he said they're making lots more of the new guys coming up. You know, the video game kids, Minecraft guys. They relate to this truck. They'll have no trouble with the looks of the truck whatsoever. But yeah, the old classic, you know, your granddaddy, he won't like Elon's Cybertruck, but his grandson will.